Now you see the J-11. You wanted to ride on the fuselage of the H-6. Rub the battery life of the H-6. Because the combat radius of the J-11 is only 1,500 kilometers. If you follow the H-6 to carry out long-range bombing missions, aerial refueling is necessary. But if you fly with a ticket, you can increase the battery life for free. But the H-6 is too small. The J-11 cannot stabilize its shape on it. So the flight failed. But rubbing 6 is not good. We can rub the Air Police 2000. Because the Air Police 2000 is larger, and there is a disc on the back, relatively flat. It is also better to land. And if the mission is carried out with the blessing of an early warning aircraft, you can see the 6 ways with your eyes and listen to all directions. Don't panic. As long as the J-11 is successfully flown away, there is no need to dispatch an air tanker. You can save yourself a little money. There are still many benefits to this operation. It's just a bit of a plane. Right now, the J-11 landed steadily on the disc of the AWACS aircraft. The flight mode of ticketing is turned on. The rest of the journey is left to the AWACS aircraft. With the blessing of AWACS aircraft, the combat radius of the J-11 can be increased to 4,000 kilometers. Because the combat radius of AWACS aircraft is 2,500 kilometers, it can even go beyond a little. Today's mission of the J-11 is to escort the H-6, go bomb a small island 2,500 kilometers away, because there are terrorists on the island. Laundry detergent is being made for the US military, so they must all be eliminated. Soon after a long flight, the J-11 rides an AWACS aircraft. The H-6 strategic bomber arrived near the island, and the terrorists on the island also discovered this situation. But the radar only scanned 2 large aircraft, thought there was no fighter escort. So the only fighter in the base was lifted into the air, performed interception missions. But the fighters of the terrorists flew behind together. Our AWACS aircraft found out. An enemy plane that has just taken off. Immediately, the J-11 broke out of the ticket mode. Battle mode is on. Jump from above the AWACS aircraft. It flew towards the incoming enemy plane. Soon with the assistance of AWACS aircraft, the J-11 locked the enemy aircraft from a distance. Then it was hundreds of kilometers away. Towards the enemy aircraft, 2 Thunderbolt 12 air-to-air missiles were launched. Strike. At this time, the enemy aircraft did not react at all. Overwhelmed by sudden attacks. I can't figure it out at all. Where suddenly a fighter plane appeared. What he can do now, it is to immediately avoid incoming missiles. But the missile had already bitten him to death. Forthwith, the terrorist 16 was shot into the soul by an air-to-air missile. It exploded in the air, fell towards the sea. At the same time, after eliminating the terrorist 16, H-6 has also arrived, within range of launching anti-radiation missiles. Then they faced several anti-aircraft missiles on the island. Several supersonic anti-radiation missiles will be mounted. All were launched. And several anti-aircraft missiles on the island. It belongs to the elimination of things. All after the anti-radiation missile is very close. Only then did I find the goal. Immediately began to launch anti-aircraft missiles for interception. But supersonic anti-radiation missiles, there is no chance to intercept them at all. One and fell towards the anti-aircraft missile. The next few anti-radiation missiles were very accurate. All the anti-aircraft missiles on the island, give it to the elimination. At the same time, after destroying the anti-aircraft missiles on the island, H-6 without the threat of air defense also flew over the island. Hundreds of aviation high-explosive bombs were about to be carried. It was dropped towards the island below. Prepare to start carpet bombing. Soon under the bombardment of the H-6, the entire island was basically scrapped. Loss of ability to process laundry detergent. Let the US military strategy fail again. At this time, the Bomber 6 was under the belly. There is also a ballistic missile hanging on the side. If you bring it back, the amount of oil may not be enough. Immediately bombarded 6 ballistic missiles towards a port more than 1,000 kilometers away. It was launched. After the ballistic missile was launched, then it begins to climb rapidly in height. At last, we'll hit the target at a speed of Mach 20 or more. It doesn't give the opponent a chance to defend at all. After launching the ballistic missile, the H-6 began to turn around. Prepare to join the AWACS aircraft and the J-11. Then return happily. In addition, ports more than 1,000 kilometers away. A cargo ship full of fighter jets was parked. The cargo ship is being repaired in the port. So far, I don't know what happened. Then the ballistic missile that could not stand the loneliness, at a very fast speed, from an altitude of tens of thousands of meters, swooped down towards them. Finally, the entire port was under an explosion, was razed to the ground. Cargo ships full of planes are also completely scrapped. This concludes today's video. See you next time.